Nhớ thôi nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. nhớ là nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. Nhắn thôi nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. Nhắn lại nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. Nhắn lên nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. Nhắn lại nha em. Cố lên. Mụn em nó rất là nhiều luôn. Tinh dầu mũi thì tinh dầu mụn, mũi vùng chữ T tinh dầu mụn. Hai bên má thì tinh dầu lão hóa. Rồi kem dưỡng đắp mặt nạ. Rồi.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we dive in deep into the world of one of the most majestic and powerful creatures on the planet, the tiger. We all know they're big, but have you ever wondered just how big they can really get? Let's unravel some tiger mysteries and separate fact from fiction. When we think of tigers, we often picture the massive Siberian tiger trudging through the snow, and for good reason. The Siberian, or Amur tiger, is generally considered the largest subspecies. But the title for the largest individual tiger ever recorded is a bit of a historical puzzle. Accounts from the early 20th century describe male Siberian tigers weighing over 800 pounds, or about 360 kilograms. Imagine a cat that weighs more than 4 adult humans combined. However, these historical records are often debated as measurement methods back then weren't as standardized as they are today. Some of these weights might have been estimations or even exaggeration. So, what do we know for sure? Modern, scientifically verified records give us a clearer picture. In the wild, male Siberian tigers today typically weigh between 400 and 600 pounds, so that's about 180 to 270 kilograms. Females are smaller, usually weighing between 220 and 370 pounds. But here's a twist. The Bengal tiger, found in India and surrounding countries, can give the Siberian a real run for its money. While on average slightly smaller, some individual male Bengal tigers have been officially recorded to be just as large, if not larger, than their Siberian cousins, especially in regions with abundant prey like northern India and Nepal. In fact, some of the heaviest wild tigers reliably weighed in recent decades have been Bengals. Now, let's talk about length. A large male tiger can measure over 10 feet or 3 meters from nose to tail tip. That's like parking a small car in your living room. The tail itself can be over 3 feet long and acts as a crucial tool for balance when they chasing prey at high speeds or navigating difficult terrain. But what about tigers in captivity? You might think that with a constant supply of food and no need to hunt, they would get even bigger. And you'd be right. To some extent. Captive tigers, especially those in zoos and conservation centers, often weigh more than their wild counterparts. This is partly due to a consistent diet and a less active lifestyle. It's not uncommon to see captive male tigers tipping the scales at over 600 pounds. One of the most famous examples was a Siberian tiger in a US safari park named Jaipur, who reportedly weighed over 900 pounds. But this isn't necessarily a good thing. Just like with humans, obesity can lead to health problems for tigers, including joint issues and heart disease. That's why reputable zoos carefully manage their animals' diets to keep them at a healthy weight. So why the size difference between subspecies? It's all about evolution and environment. The classic biological rule, Bergmann's rule, suggests that animals in colder climates tend to be larger than those in warmer climates. A larger body has a lower surface area to volume ratio, which helps conserve heat. This explains why the Siberian tiger, living in the frigid Russian Far East, evolved to be so massive. In contrast, the Sumatran tiger, which lives on a tropical island, is the smallest subspecies, with males weighing around 220 to 310 pounds. Their smaller size is an adaptation to the dense jungle environment and the smaller prey available there. A smaller body is more agile for navigating thick forests and requires less food to sustain itself. Let's break down the different tiger subspecies and their typical sizes. We've talked about the Siberian and the Bengal. Then there's the Indo-Chinese tiger, found in Southeast Asia, which is a bit smaller than the Bengal. The Malayan tiger, found on the Malay Peninsula, is similar in size to the Indo-Chinese, and as we mentioned, the Sumatran tiger is the smallest. Sadly, 3 subspecies, the Bali Javan and Caspian tigers, are now extinct. The Caspian tiger, interestingly, was a very large cat, rivaling the Bengal in size and adapted to the reed beds and forests of Central Asia. So, to answer our big question, how big can a tiger get? Based on reliable, modern data, a very large, healthy male tiger in the wild can weigh up to around 660 pounds or 300 kilograms and stretch over 10 feet long. While historical tales of 800-pound behemoths are fascinating, they remain largely unconfirmed. The Bengal and Siberian tigers are the undisputed heavyweights of the tiger world, with their size being a perfect adaptation to their environment and the large prey they hunt, like wild boar, deer, and even young rhinos or buffalo. The sheer size and power of these animals are awe-inspiring, but it's also a reminder of what's at stake. All tiger subspecies are endangered or critically endangered, facing threats from poaching and habitat loss. The disappearance of these magnificent big cats would be an irreversible loss for our planet. Organizations around the world are working tirelessly on conservation efforts, from anti-poaching patrols to restoring tiger habitats and working with local communities. Protecting their prey and the vast territories they need to roam is key to their survival. By understanding and appreciating these incredible animals, we can all play a part in their conservation. Spreading awareness is the first step. The story of the tiger isn't just about their impressive size. It's a story of survival, adaptation, and the urgent need for conservation. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of tigers. What animal mystery should we unravel next? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next one. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into a question that might seem simple at first, but trust me, it's got layers. Are dolphins just big, smart fish? You see them in the ocean. They swim, they have fins. So they must be fish, right? Well, hold on to your snorkels because we're about to blow that idea right out of the water. Let's start with the basics. What makes a fish a fish? Generally, they live in water. They have gills to breathe underwater. They're cold-blooded, and most have scales and lay eggs. Think of a goldfish or a shark. Now, let's look at our friend, the dolphin. Sure, they live in the ocean, but that's where the similarities start to get a bit fishy. The biggest giveaway is how they breathe. Have you ever seen a dolphin stay underwater forever? Nope, they have to come up to the surface for air. That's because, unlike fish with their fancy gills that extract oxygen from the water, dolphins have lungs, just like you and me, that little hole on top of their head. That's called a blowhole, and it's basically their version of a nose. They hold their breath underwater and then shoot up to the surface to exhale and take a big gulp of fresh air before diving back down. So, point 1 for Team Mammal. Next up, let's talk about body temperature. Fish are cold-blooded, which means their body temperature changes with the temperature of the water around them. If the water gets chilly, they get chilly. Dolphins, on the other hand, are warm-blooded. They maintain a constant warm body temperature, no matter how cold the ocean gets. They have a thick layer of fat called blubber that acts like a built-in wetsuit, keeping them toasty. This is another classic trait of mammals, not fish. Now, how about the family tree? This is where it gets really interesting. Fish lay eggs. Millions of them, sometimes dolphins. Absolutely not. Mother dolphins give birth to live babies called calves. They don't just pop them out and swim away either. A dolphin mum will carry her baby for a long pregnancy, sometimes over a year. After the baby is born, it's not ready to fend for itself. The mother nurses her calf with milk. Yes, you heard that right, milk. Just like a cow or a cat or a human. Dolphins have mammary glands and they produce milk to feed their young. This is a defining characteristic of all mammals, and you won't find any fish at the underwater milk bar. Let's look at their anatomy. A fish's tail, or caudal fin, moves from side to side to propel it through the water. Go on, picture a salmon swimming upstream. See that side-to-side wiggle. Now, think about a dolphin. When they swim, their powerful tail, called a fluke, moves up and down. This vertical movement is incredibly efficient and allows them to launch themselves high into boob, the air in those spectacular leaps we all love to see. This fundamental difference in movement is a dead giveaway that they come from very different evolutionary paths. Even their skeletons tell different stories. While both have backbones, making them vertebrates, the structure is different. The up and down motion of a dolphin's spine is much more similar to how a land mammal runs. like a dog or a cheetah, than it is to the side-to-side slither of a fish. Scientists believe that the ancestors of dolphins were actually land-dwelling mammals that, millions of years ago, decided the ocean life was for them and gradually adapted to their new aquatic home. Think of them as land animals that made a U-turn and went back to the sea. Their front flippers, which look a lot like fins, actually have a bone structure inside that S shockingly similar to a human hand, with a wrist and finger-like bones. It's called a pentadactyl limb, and it's a hallmark of terrestrial vertebrates. So, if they're not fish, what are they? Dolphins belong to a group of marine mammals called cetaceans. This group includes all whales and porpoises as well. They are the mammals that have most completely adapted to life in the water. Within the cetacean group, dolphins are part of the toothed whale family, which sets them apart from the giant baleen whales like the blue whale, which filter feed for tiny krill. So, a killer whale, or orca, is actually the largest species of dolphin. Mind-blowing, right? And we can't talk about dolphins without mentioning their incredible intelligence. While many fish are smart in their own way, dolphins are on another level. They have large, complex brains, even larger than human brains in